Hi, my name is Angelo, and I'll be presenting MathWorks documentation-based problem design with GenAI. So in this session, we're going to learn how to use GenAI to design some engineering problems that can be solved using programming languages like MATLAB. And we also are going to learn how to transform MathWorks documentations into engineering problems with some help of GenAI. So as a customer-facing engineer, I visit educators and professors, and I oftentimes introduce our automatic assessment solution called MATLAB Grader. And they're very happy about it when they hear about it. But also at the same time, when I tell them that then you need to make these problems, then they feel very burdensome because it takes too much time and very much effort to create the problems from scratch. But I believe GenAI can be a good companion to make those first draft and overall pictures of them. There are some opportunities for GenAI in the classroom. For example, if you are prepared with good prompting and good refining and iterating techniques and analyzing. And we're going to pick some of those and make it into our concrete strategies to use GenAI in the classroom. So my demo in this video is documentation-based problem design. Instead of starting from scratch, my strategy is to leverage some reliable references, for example, MathWorks documentation system, which is abundant with codes and instructions. So it'd be a good starting point for your jumpstart. And out of those three opportunities, and this demo is about prompting and analyzing. So in other words, we're going to use some lengthy prompt, which is predefined, and we are going to improve our confidence based on some reliable references. MathWorks examples are a very good way that engineers can learn how to use algorithms and find the best approach for their specific problem. And MathWorks provides a host of examples for building basic MATLAB language, but also some complex domain systems, for example, predictive maintenance system, LiDAR, radar, and you name it. In the Help Center, you can filter information by type, and also you can look up functions and examples. And out of those examples, there are some series examples, which is made up with multiple documentations. For example, in this case, you can see that the battery state of charge estimation process is going on, where you define some requirements and pre-process your data and train the model, test the model, and finally you integrate the deep learning model into the system and deploy it into C code so that it can be deployed into hardwares. So you open the documentations in the web page, and you can actually open the example in the MATLAB online. If you have some desktop version of MATLAB, you can press copy command to open the example documentation in MATLAB desktop. Next, you can export the example as a Markdown format and feed it into GenAI so that AI can understand what's inside the documentation. So here is the example, a demo. Well, in my case, I'm going to open the second example because there are more MATLAB codes in it. And you see the documentation really explains step by step with detailed guidelines in coding and how to link the requirements into the dataset status. So what you can do is to open the documentation in MATLAB online. And you can export documentation into a Markdown format. I believe the Markdown format is the best format that AI can understand the structure of the documentation. The exported documentation can be downloaded if you were using MATLAB Online, and you can use it right away if you were using MATLAB Desktop. So here's one of my prompts that I use to convert the MathWorks documentation into problem sets. And what the prompt does is to give some overall structures. For example, in my case, I wanted to make it into like a story, some instructions and mathematical background, and some hints and problem. And specifically for the story, I wanted to make it into a narrative style where two characters talk to each other. And there is some detailed guidelines on the storyline. And what I also required is that do not change the GUI and app part, because I only wanted to assess the answers programmatic way. And you may be thinking that that's a super lengthy prompt, and where can I get that? Well, you can go to this webpage, tinyurl.com/MATLAB YouTube GenAI 2025. You can go to this page and you will get the prompt if you drag down all the way to the bottom. You see, yep, here you can drag and copy and paste into your GenAI platform. So here's my demo. So I attached the Markdown file, and I also copy and pasted the prompt from the web page. Well, for the prompting part, you need to change based on your documentation that you want to use, right? Then it gives me the problem set right away with some interesting story to start with. And then it removed the coding part so that students can fill in some mathematical background, some hints, some problems. And as I requested, the validation part is left as is. Right, this is it for this video. We learned that some MATLAB tools and GenAI can be combined into design engineering problems. And in this case, this MATLAB tool was documentation. Well, and we learned that GenAI can help you in modifying the process of transforming MathWorks chip documentations into engineering problems. What was the most powerful was the exporting the documentation into Markdown. If you have questions and comments, please leave in the comment section. And thanks for watching.